Michael Morbius, a Greek biochemist whose experiments to cure himself of a rare blood disease left him infected with vampirism. He has a long history with the amazing Spider-Man as both enemies and uneasy allies. Although he is a vampire affected with bloodlust, Morbius' humanity has stayed true and he has managed to hold to a noble cause, defending so-called monsters in the society. But recently, a bunch of Spidey's blood is stolen by the villain Mr. Negative, a crime lord exposed by the Dark Force. The blood was put into Negative's signature weapon, the Devil's Breath, a gas when encoded with DNA from blood samples can kill anyone of that DNA bloodline. So with his current affair, Blackcat, Spidey infiltrates into Negative's house, but while looking for the vial of his blood, Spidey is confronted by Mr. Negative and his goons, and while he was busy fighting the criminals, Blackcat reaches the safe and switches the vial of Spidey's blood for some pig's blood, and her plan works. On the other side, Negative throws Spider-Man out of the building. But when he arrives there, the wall crawler is not there, but Negative can sense him. He says that he lives by a code of honor. Now as Spider-Man has invaded his home, he can never let him rest. But Spidey has an answer. What Negative is planning for him, he can easily take it and return with interest. Because Negative invaded his home first, he came to New York. So after dealing with him, Spidey meets with Cat and she tells the whole details about how she changed Peter's blood with a pig's. So in exchange of helping Peter, she demands him to spend the night with her. So Peter agrees, but he also worried that he cannot fully trust Felicia and this relationship. Welcome to Comicstube YouTube channel. In today's video, we will review Chapter 622 of The Amazing Spider-Man, The Morbius Gauntlet. So if you guys are new here, please subscribe and turn on all the notifications to never miss any future uploads. Please like, comment and share. All the text and images are owned by its respected company. You can support them by purchasing it digitally or from any offline stores. The issue opens up with Blackcat and Spidey in bed, and Spidey is irritated when he learns Cat has sold the vial of his blood. They nearly got killed stealing it back from Negative, but Cat casually asks him what is her profit margin in stealing that blood. She is a thief, and it is what she do. She sold it to the Undeads, an underground subculture called the Drags. So with no other options left, Peter dresses up as a god and infiltrates the Drags nightclub to get his blood back. And in his mind, he is still in confusion about his relation with Cat, who has no interest in Peter when he is not wearing his costume. But while observing the surroundings, Peter realizes the undead situation has changed a lot. They look like the cool kids who are enjoying the party and the songs. But in the dark corner of the club, a lady tells Peter, myths change, they evolve with the times. And it seems this lady has somehow read Peter's mind. But then she uses her technique and beauty to charm Peter, and she informs him she knows what Peter is looking for, the vial of his blood, and she also knows who has it. It is Michael Morbius. She tells Peter that Morbius moves around quite a lot, but this lair is where he is tonight, and she gives him the address of Morbius. Peter thanks the lady, but in reply, she tells Peter he is the one she has been looking for. So without wasting any time, Peter dresses up as Spidey and goes to investigate the address. He lets himself in through a rooftop duct and enters into a dark room. But while wandering the room, he activates the alarm, and over his head, Morbius is hanging upside down, asleep. But then, Peter hears a voice in his mind. The lady that Peter met at the club begins to speak in Peter's mind and forces him to let her in the house. So the mind-controlled Spidey opens the door, which has protected this house by unwanted monsters. Morbius tries to stop Peter, but it was too late. The door breaks into pieces, and it turns out the lady is Martin, Morbius' wife. He left her after he affected with the disease that turned him into a vampire. She truly loved her husband, so she also turned herself into a vampire so that she could follow him anywhere. So now, as she has tracked him down, they can finally be together. Spidey tries to take down the vampire, but Martin becomes unstable and begins to throw Spidey and Morbius around herself. She turns herself into a bat and then quickly approaches behind Spidey and grabs him with both of her hands, and it makes it difficult for Peter to free himself from the vampire, and she then attempts to turn Spidey into one of them. But before she can bite him, Morbius stops her and tells her she wins. So Martin throws Peter to a next room, and there he finds a wooden spike. Spidey thinks there is only one way to handle this situation, end the fight by killing the vampire with this wooden spike. But then he stops himself as he can't kill anyone, and he doesn't want to be responsible for someone's death. Ever since Peter lost Uncle Ben, he swore that if Spider-Man was anything, he was someone who did not let people die. Martin is so much happy that she can able to reunite with her husband. But then Morbius pushes her into Spidey, impaling her on the spike, and as Woods, her weakness to the vampires, it immediately kills her and turns her into a skeleton. But this method drives Peter mad. He charges at him and punches Morbius in the face for killing his own wife, and while continuing the beatdown, he tells Morbius they could have captured her, find another way to turn her into a human being. But Morbius replies they could not. Martin died a long time ago. There is nothing else they could have done. Peter's world and his don't exactly mix. In this condition, he cannot enjoy the luxury of his moral clarity. Blood is all to these creatures. He thought the blood of Spider-Man can cure any disease, so he bought the vial of his blood from the Drax, hoping to use its regenerative powers to help cure his best friend, Jack Russell. The undead plague has infected him and turned him into a werewolf. But now he realizes he should not have taken the blood without Spidey's knowledge, and he smashes the vial into his hand. He just did not want to lose Jack like his wife Martin, and he tells Peter he maybe doesn't know what it feels to lose a loved one. So Peter tells Morbius he knows the feeling. It is the story of his life. So he rolls up his sleeve and allows Morbius to get a sample of his blood with a hope that it will cure his friend. And with that, the chapter 622 of The Amazing Spider-Man Morbius Gauntlet comes to a close. So which part you like the most? Please share them on the comment section down below. And please like this video and do subscribe, as this will motivate me to make more contents. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.